Looking ahead to 2025, China's Navy is experiencing an unprecedented leapfrog development. 15 large surface ships and advanced submarines will soon be in service, with a total displacement of more than 210,000 tons. An important change in the international maritime landscape. According to the open source news from various parties, 2025 is still a harvest year for the PLA Navy. A large number of 2022, 2023, 2024 launch of the PLA's main battleships will soon be commissioned into the Navy. One of the most notable is undoubtedly the Fujian ship. Fujian ship is currently undergoing the final carrier, catapult and other sea trial program. This year into the Navy is certain. It is just the end of the year. The 075 amphibious assault ship of the fourth ship is also about to enter service. The fourth ship has been named Hubei ship. Congratulations to Hubei province, following the Wuhan ship, and then mention the large main combat ships. Hubei ship launched at the end of 2023 after more than a year of testing and sea trials, is expected to be officially commissioned in May-June this year. In addition to these two single ship more than 30,000 tons of large ships, the PLA Navy side of the remaining 6 destroyers, 6 frigates, a nuclear-powered attack submarine will soon be commissioned. Destroyers are second only to aircraft carriers, the core combat forces. The new batch of 055 large drive, before the two ships have been launched in 23 and 24 years and early, respectively. In the upcoming maiden voyage and sailing test phase, the outside world speculation that the 2055 were 109 Dongguan ship and 110 Anking ship is expected to be commissioned at the end of this year into the Navy, may be assigned to the Eastern Theater of the Navy. The end of the fleet has long been no active 055 history, and the evergreen 052D large drive has now been built to the fourth batch, which is also known as the 052DM or 052D-GI model. There are 4 052DM launched in 2023 or will be in service this year, the fastest of which 166 went on or will be commissioned into the Navy in these months, is already brushing the number of pending status. The remaining 3 ships will either be commissioned in the middle or end of this year. In addition to destroyers, this year's frigates into service reach 2, a 054 frigate, mighty enhanced version, 054A, is the 6th batch of ships. According to open source data, can only determine the construction of 4 ships and have all been launched, is expected to enter service this year. The new batch of 054A and the lengthening of the hull of the rear part of the superstructure layout adjustment, the ship's 76mm main gun, replaced with 054B, the same type of 100mm gun. 54B is the Chinese Navy's new generation of frigates. Compared to 054, tonnage's larger combat capability is more outstanding, using double-sided active, phased array radar, but its vertical hair system compared to 054 did not change. It has been confirmed that 054B built 2 ships and in 23 years launched, the current brush number to be expected to enter service this year into the Navy. The above is 14 surface combat ships. In addition to the analysis of the US media, this year the PLA will serve 093B nuclear submarine first ship, and comprehensive above ship tonnage can be obtained. 15 ships will be commissioned this year. The PLA's new warships with a total of 211,000 tons of full loaded displacement. The PLA 1 year into service ship tonnage equivalent to a medium naval power, all surface warships fleet tonnage. The French Navy's current Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier full load displacement of about 42,000 tons, plus the Northwest Wind class amphibious assault ship 3 total about 66,000 tons, and destroyers 66,000 tons, as well as destroyers, frigates, the total tonnage of roughly 200,000 tons, and the PLA Navy only in 2025 around the delivery of this batch of ships can reach or exceed the French Navy's total displacement of all major combat ships. What's more, these 15 new ships are not all of the Chinese Navy, but just a phase of the current shipbuilding boom. The British Royal Navy has 2 Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers, 6 destroyers and 11 frigates in service, but the difference in overall tonnage between them and the 15 new Chinese ships mentioned above is just over 20,000 tons. Britain has 2 Queen Elizabeth class carriers, each with a total tonnage of about 65,000 to 70,000 tons. In addition, there are 6 Type 45 destroyers, 11 Type 23 frigates and some amphibious landing ships. The total number of China's 15 new combat ships in terms of weapons configuration, electronic systems, radar, pendant number of scale. In particular, the 055 and 052D ocean-going destroyers have a versatile vertical launch system and operational versatility that the Type 45 cannot fully match. What's more, the number and tonnage of ships that China will commission in 2025 will completely overwhelm that of more than 30 NATO countries, including the United States. The United States 25 years into service surface combatant ships, or will be 2 Arleigh-class destroyers, 1 St. Anthony-class dock landing ship, Virginia-class nuclear submarines 2, Independent-class littoral combat ship 1. A total of 6 ships are expected to be 25 years into service in the U.S. Navy, with a tonnage of 63,000 tons, almost equivalent to the same period of the Chinese Navy 30%. Then look at other NATO traditional maritime powers. The United Kingdom in 2025, there is no 1 main battleships under construction. France only Admiral Ronnet-class cruiser first ship in service this year, the tonnage of 4,460 tons. Germany has 2 1,800-ton small frigates, Braunschweig class in 2025. Italy has 0, Australia and Spain have 0, and Canada has a 6,000-ton Harry Duelf cruiser due to enter service this year. The rest of the NATO countries that don't have large navies and can't afford to build large tonnage ships don't need to be counted. Thus, the major NATO countries combined will commission 10 ships in 2025, with a total tonnage of less than 80,000 tons, equivalent to 36% of the tonnage of ships commissioned by the Chinese Navy this year, or even less than half. It can be seen that the Chinese Navy this year, the tonnage and number of ships commissioned by the Chinese Navy, far ahead of all 30 NATO countries. Of course, behind this relies on the world's strongest shipbuilding strength of China's shipbuilding industry. China has been ranked first in global shipbuilding production for many years. Merchant ships, tankers, container ships and other civilian shipbuilding experience and technology for military shipbuilding provides a wide range of talent reserves and industrial base. Jiangnan Shipbuilding, Hudong Zhonghua, Dalian Shipbuilding, etc. have the world's leading shipbuilding dry dock facilities, which are able to start construction of several large surface ships in parallel, significantly shortening the period from ship launching to outfitting and sea trial. From steel, engines, electronic components to missiles, radar, vertical launch systems, etc., can be quickly completed in the domestic enterprises supporting and supply civil-military integration so that many civilian shipbuilding enterprises can also be urgently converted to production or support the construction of military products. In contrast, the warships of many NATO countries, and even supporting the need for transnational collaboration, once the supply chain constraints, will slow down the progress of shipbuilding and push up the cost. All in all, from a historical perspective, naval construction often represents the height of a country's industrial and economic development, and also maps the evolution of the strategic landscape. The 15 new ships to be added to the PLA Navy in 2025 represent another major step on the path to a deep blue navy.